Hey YouTube, Chase Valiant coming back at you like a roundhouse kick. And this is some stuff I picked up from my local LCS, so let's get started. I picked up Iron Fist from Marvel, the #1 issue. This is the A cover variant. It's got him in his classic 1970s outfit with the yellow highlights and the big ass yellow collar and the striping on the side. Powered up, ready to pop someone. This is one of my favorite renditions of Iron Fist, in fact, him in that outfit. And this is the Iron Fist Marvel #1 A cover variant. Okay. This is the Running with the Devil Electra Marvel 002. And, you know, I was chasing some other Electras, but they're a little bit unreasonable at the time, so I will catch that minx at another date. This, however, is the Running with the Devil Electra 002 A cover. It's super awesome. It's got Arcade in the corner, and if you're an old school X-Men fan, then you know who Arcade is. Created by Chris Claremont in the 70s, and a really, really interesting character with Murder World and what have you. And to have him in Vegas and doing his thing and kind of this little spin on what he does, but it's still him, is very interesting when Electra is in the mix. And that's Running with the Devil, Electra Marvel 002. Okay. Top Cow, Image Comics, Magdalena #1. This is the B cover variant. And I've not been keeping up with the Magdalena, but I really like Mark Silvestri and wanted to support his stuff. In this B cover, I really, really liked. I like the Demon Hunter. I like the Spear of Destiny. I like the stained glass windows. Everything looks just so magnificent here. So I picked it up. It's the Top Cow, Image Comics, Magdalena #1. Another book from Image Comics I picked up was Ray Fawkes' Underworld, issue #1. And it's an all-black book, a little dark in the imagery of it all. But, you know, I haven't read it yet. And that pentagram could just be a pagan thing rather than a satanic thing, which is usually more the case historically. But anyway, I thought it was interesting. You know? Or interesting looking. And I picked up Marvel 004 The Hulk. I'm a big Hulk fan, as all you guys know. And this is a great cover showing the split dichotomy of the Hulk and Jen. And Jen is really going through some personal stuff here. In fact, this whole story has really been about Jen's personal journey, not so much about the Hulk. And while I like the idea of weakness in a hero, sometimes you just want to see someone get their ass kicked, and no one gets their ass kicked by She-Hulk in the Hulk books so far. This is #4 and she hasn't appeared, so love the cover because that's what you're going to get when you want to get some She-Hulk from Marvel right now. I also picked up God Country #3. We all have that one. That's a fun one. I picked up XO Manowar, Soldier issue #1, and this is the A cover variant, and they were just asking a lot of money for the XO Manowar books that I don't think will hold the market, and so I opted just to get the one that was right off the shelf, and it's a beautiful book. It kind of reminds me of the 1970s Garth Holbrook and other kinds of fantasy pictures, and yeah, I think that I'll probably be able to get some of those books a little cheaper down the line. Another book I picked up was the IDW Judge Dredd Cry of the Werewolf. And this is called the first printing of the Cry of the Werewolf from IDW. But let's be real, kids. This is a story that was first printed in 2000 AD, back in the early 80s. And it went from issue 2058 to I think 2062 or so. And years later was picked up by Quality Comics, I think in 1986, where they republished it, calling it a first printing. And that was a 3-issue limited series. And it's an interesting book because, you know, werewolves, Judge Dredd, all cool. But it's also the first or one of the only books where Judge Dredd has shown his face. So IDW gets the rights to the IP on this specific story and combines it all into one story. So you get the whole story all at once for the first time. And so, I guess de facto, it's the first printing. And that's the Judge Dredd Cry of the Werewolf from IDW one-shot. I also picked up Ian Fleming's James Bond 007 Black Box. This one was not necessarily on my radar, but got it signed by Benjamin Percy. So I picked it up and shared it with you. Another book I picked up. A book I've been reading was Loose Ends. It's a Southern crime drama, crime romance rather, as described in a 4-issue limited series. This is number 3 of the limited series from Image Comics. It's not been the most impressive of stories or of art. This is the 1 in 10 B cover variant. This cover is spectacular, however. This is a standout so far. A lot of people don't know that Loose Ends is actually a second printing. Loose Ends has printed before. This is the second time it's been printed, and this is the 1 in 10 variant for the Loose Ends on Image Comics, and that's number 3. I also picked up Bloodshot Reborn 0 from Valiant Comics. This was described as the spoiler variant. I believe this is a 1 in 15 variant, and it just titillated me from the start. You know, you can't not show me something and tell me I can have it. So ultimately, I found it. I got it at a reasonable price, way less than what you see online, guys. And that's the Valiant Bloodshot Reborn 01 spoiler variant, 1 in 15. I also picked up the Star Trek Green Lantern Stranger Worlds 1 in 10 variant. Have not been reading the Stranger Worlds line by the IDW DC combo, but this particular cover was just too fucking hilarious to pass up. If you guys watch Star Trek, the original series, then you've seen this exact pose from Shatner and Spock before. And to have them in the Green Lantern outfits and it's really cool, and it's a 1 in 10. I thought I'd pick it up. Star Trek Green Lantern Stranger Worlds. Okay, I also picked up the Iron Fist from Marvel. It's 001. It's a variant edition. I believe this is the 1 in 15 variant of the Iron Fist. It's a very powerful image of the Iron Fist in the shadows. And, you know, his hand glowing, ready to just do some business right there. Really good stuff. I picked up the IDW one-shot again, Judge Dredd, Cry of the Werewolf. And this is off of their Deviations line. And if you guys aren't following, the Deviations line is a little bit like a what if, right? So this is a 1 in 15 on the what if of the Judge Dredd Cry of the Werewolf from IDW. And it's really well done. It mocks the art, it mocks the story, it takes it to a place that is interesting and not just gratuitous for the sake of doing it. And so this is kind of my second part of the Judge Dredd Cry of the Werewolf that I picked up from IDW number 1 that I showed you earlier. This is the Deviations. This is a little bit of a different story, and this is the 1 in 15. A really beautiful cover, really frightening cover, and a really interesting story and a continuation or a deviation, if you will, on a story that's been well known. I also picked up Marvel 001 Iron Fist, and this is the Roth cover, and this is the 1 in 50 cover. And I might have paid like $5 too much for this, but you know, when it comes down to it, doesn't really matter because I'm not selling them. And it's a really cool cover. Some folks say it's not the best of Ross's work, but at the end of the day, it's a really hot Iron Fist cover. And though Iron Fist, the Netflix show, was not everything everybody wanted, the story in Iron Fist that they're giving you is what you would have hoped for. If Iron Fist doesn't understand his powers like he did in the Netflix series, then this is the redemption of that. So it's, I don't know if it's timing or whatever, but I like this Iron Fist story, and you know, so I picked it up. And that's my haul, guys. I hope you liked it. If you did, please click like. If you haven't already, please click subscribe. And I'm Chase Variant, and I'm out.